Welcome back to America Right Now. You are looking live at Las Vegas, courtesy of our friends at EarthCam, where temperatures have been too hot to handle in recent weeks, but it is, July and it is Las Vegas. But if you're on a plane and you don't have any AC, it's a problem, all right? You may have heard about this story as a flight where passengers on a sweltering Delta Airlines plane were stuck on the tarmac in Sin City as temperatures topped 111 degrees outside. The scene in the plane described as chaotic, with passengers getting sick and even passing out as the hours ticked by on the runway. With a heat wave blanketing a large portion of the country and airline delays over weather all too common, what do you do? Let's ask April Love. She was one of those passengers stuck on that sauna flight. And Tim Hentschel, he is a travel expert and the co-founder and CEO of Hotel Planner. Tim, April, thanks for being here. April, I got to start with you. Wow. I fly every single week. I have been in that situation, but never in 111-degree heat. Walk us through your experience quick, please. Passengers stuck for more than 4 hours.
Right. I also fly quite a bit. And I am a Delta loyalist, so I'm a platinum, medallion member. So I am used to the typical things. I mean, there have been a lot of delays coming back from COVID. The past couple of years, things are not back to completely business as usual. So I arrived at the airport in a timely manner. I'd worked all weekend on a production for an award show, Stellar Awards, and I was so ready to go. I was so excited to get home. And when I arrived at the airport, the desk agents were kind of like in disarray. They looked a little bit, concerned, and come to find out they didn't have all the flight attendants they needed for our flight. So we were immediately, of course, delayed. They made a couple of announcements over the loudspeaker that if anybody, I guess they were like trying to summon other flight attendants, and if anybody's available to work this flight, please come to that gate or whatever. Anyway, fast forward, that was odd, first of all. So I guess closer to like about an hour, almost an hour later, they announced that they did get a flight attendant, and everybody in our section like cheered and were, it was like.
So then they let you,
so excited.
Once you had a crew, they let you board the plane, but then you sat in sweltering temperatures. What happened on that plane as that happened?
It was a couple like hiccups when we got on the plane. Something was going on with the plane. Maintenance had to do something. I don't know specifically what happened with that, but they also made an announcement about, 20, 30 minutes into it. Also that because of the weather, which I'm not familiar with this, they were over the weight limit or something. So they needed to get about 8 to 10 people. I think 8 people had to volunteer to leave the flight.
To leave the flight. Huh.
Yeah. So we had to do that to get under, the proper weight.
And then,
so they did.
And then people people were passing out. People were starting to get really uncomfortable.
They were already hot. We didn't have any water. We didn't have anything. So we were over an hour at that point. And so they said, we're taxiing to the runway. I think they said we were going to be the 5th in line. And unfortunately, that 5th they said 3rd. It went back to 5th. And then he said, there's so many flights in front of us that it's going to be a while. And that's when it just started to
April, I want to bring in Tim here. Let's talk about this. What rights do passengers have in this sort of situation?
Well, they have the right to leave. And so this is very concerning that given the people had health issues, and obviously they would make those issues clear to the flight crew, they should have been back to a gate immediately to let people who are having health issues off. I mean, I know from personal experience, people have health issues while the plane is in flight. They'll divert the plane and land as soon as possible. Obviously, they'll try to help them on board, but if they can't help them on board, then they have to divert the flight. Yeah. So to put passengers through what I've just heard is unbelievable. Obviously, there's probably going to be legal recourse for that because several people messed up for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, do the airlines have to compensate people for delayed or canceled flights, particularly something like this, where there could have been something wrong with the plane, or it could have been weather related?
Yeah, so unfortunately on domestic flights, there's not a lot of recourse. The best thing to do is make sure you book on a credit card that has flight insurance. So if you don't take off, you can get your fees for that flight back easily through your credit card. That's usually the best way to go. I mean, any one of the major credit cards, especially American Express, carries a lot of benefits when it comes to travel.
Yeah.
So I would say start with that. And then, of course, there's always consumer advocate sites that you can go through that will help you, but does take months to, maybe a year or longer. The credit card companies will get you your money back as quickly as possible.
April, has Delta reached out to you and to maybe other passengers that were on the plane? And, what would you like to see them and other airlines do to help passengers who were in a situation like yours?
Yeah, because ours was such an extreme incident, I think we should have heard from them. I mean, we had some random emails. I got an email finally. They basically said they would give us like 20,000 Sky Miles. They understand that it was, they messed up. But it was just a customer relations person's email. I didn't feel the personal effect of it, especially being, like I said, a loyalist. And the fact that there were so many people that, like you said, were getting ill and had to be taken. Even one of the flight attendants passed out and had to be taken out, on a gurney. But then we knew the flight was canceled for the night. I was unable, I had to pay for my own hotel because the inventory wasn't there for the ones they suggested. So I just feel like the 20,000 Sky Miles, and I did hear that they will refund our ticket.
Yeah.
But the lack of, just personal, I'm a publicist. I work in,
Yeah, you would think that,
service. I'm about touching that. It wouldn't have been hard to just really connect with that or make a statement. Say something.
You would. I'm out of time, unfortunately, because I'm up against another guest segment here. But look, it's really important for folks to know their rights, to be respectful on the plane if there is a problem. But make sure that you're putting some pressure on these airlines to compensate you. If you have a problem like this, it is really important. April Love, Tim Hentschel, thank you both so very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.